Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another video here on my YouTube channel. Today, we are continuing our 5-year rebuild series here on the YouTube channel. Today, we are doing the Memphis Tigers. Now, recently in real life, the Memphis Tigers tried to pay $250 million to the Big 12 conference to join their conference. And, of course, the Big 12 denied that, and Memphis is stuck in the American. Of course, they are a proud member of the American. And today, we're going to show the Big 12 why Memphis deserves to be in their conference. Right now, it's going to be tough, though. They're kind of ass right now. But they're not ass. They're decent, I should say. Their quarterback, Seth Hennigan, just left the program. I don't know what team he's playing for in the NFL, but I did love him at Memphis. Right now, with Memphis, they're a 77 overall, 76 offense, 79 defense. So we have some work to do if we want to be in the Big 12 in real life. Anyway, they run the spread in a 4-3 multiple. Let's go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here is the Memphis roster. We have Brandon Lewis. I don't know if he was a transfer for this past year. We do have Maiden and Brandon Chalmers. We'll see how he develops there. Running back, we have Frank. I don't know his last name. And then we have a bunch of other guys I don't know. For fullback, we have Antoine Jackson. Receiver, we have C.J. Smith. Best receiver, Hawkins, Thompson, Brady, Johnson. All these guys down here. Tight end, we have Jerry Cross. And we have some other guys I don't know. Left tackle, we have Travis Burke, the senior. We do have 2 sophomores, which is nice. Left guard, we have Austin Gentle. Yaki Walker at center. Right guard, we have Mr. Breland. Sophomore redshirt, excuse me. Chris Adams, our senior right tackle. Left end, we have this guy. Bunch of guys I don't know. How about William Whitlow Jr., the senior, playing right end there? Marcus Burris Jr., another good guy for us. He is a junior. Drew Watts, the Sam linebacker. I don't know. Was he in Arkansas last year? I don't remember. Everett Renaissance Jr. will be our junior Mike. We have Sam Boomerfield. I'd probably butchered it. As our Will Jr., we have Chauncey Logan corner. 2 seniors in Omarion Cooper and Joey Hunt. And we have Cameron Miller there. Bunch of guys I don't know. We have Xavier Thompson, and he's a freshman, and he doesn't look bad. We'll see how he develops. Free safety, Chris Bracey. We got to get our brand exposure up. He could be decent. Jaden Dennis as well, but he's a senior. Strong safety, we have Kamari Wilson, 85. He's a junior, but we got to get our conference prestige up, and a bunch of other guys there. Kicker, we have a junior and a freshman, and we have Tanner Gills. We do also have a freshman. So that is the Memphis roster, and ladies and gentlemen, we got to recruit, so let's go. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, our last rebuild was Louisiana. If you haven't seen it, please go check it out. I would really appreciate it. But our quarterback did get hurt in year 5, so I have decided for this video, I have turned injuries and wear and tear off. If you think I should leave it on, please comment down below when I'm doing this Louisiana video as it came out. So please make your opinions known. But for right now, I think we're going to leave it off. I had it off last year, but I wanted to keep it on this year, but I'm turning it off. So yeah, recruiting time. Josh Burke committed. Nick Carden committed. D. Lieber committed. Jose Stockton committed. Antony Pierman committed. Don Bibbs commits. Moses Titus committed. Earl Awesome committed. Jeremiah Lucien committed. And ladies and gentlemen, our first year in this rebuild, we're going to be going to the American Football Championship, taking on the Navy Midshipmen. Tony Pujols commits. And ladies and gentlemen, your 2025 Heisman Trophy winner is Terrion Stewart, running back from Virginia Tech. Holy cow, that's the first I've seen of this. Anyway, he had 2,609 carries, 1,703 rushing yards, and 6 YPCs. I don't know what that is. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be going to the Hawaii Bowl, taking on Fresno State. And ladies and gentlemen, here in year 1, we are going to win the Hawaii Bowl. Off to a good start. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here are the year 1 stats. Brandon Lewis, 319 for 526. 60% completion percentage, 3,817 yards, 21 tutties, and 8 picks. Rushing, Frank, 193 for 878, 20 tutties. Lewis, 137 for 448, 7 tutties. Greg, 75 for 371, 8 tutties. Sutton Smith, 1 for 5, 2 for 4 for Thompson, 1 for 1 by Jamari Hawkins. Receiving, 57 for 998, 9 tutties for Jaden Thompson. 72 for 854, 3 tutties for Hawkins. CJ Smith, 65 for 804, 4 tutties. Cross, 70 for 728, 5 tutties. Frank, 32 for 299. Greg, 18 for 104, 4 for 22 for Bryce Anderson. And Caldwell, 1 for 8. Defensively, 68 tackles for Drew Watts. Chris, 67, 66 for Cooper. Logan, 65, 60 for Everett. Wilson, 54, 45 for William. Sam with 43 tackles for loss, 14 by William. Sam with 11, 10 by Marcus. Everett with 9, 6 by Reggie. Joshua White with 5, 3 by Logan. 2 by Wilson and Brian. 1 by Drew Watts and Isham Young. 8 sacks by Williams, 4.5 by Sam. Marcus with 3.5, 2 by Everett and Reggie. Half sack by Joshua White and Drew Watts. Interception, we had 3 by Logan. Drew Watts with 2. Sam with Wilson and Cooper. 1 by Everett, Isham Young, and Chris Bracey. That is year 1. We did a really good job on to year 2, folks. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the playoff from year 1. Notre Dame goes on a little bit of a run. And in the end, they make the title game, but they lose to Clemson, and they got their ass blasted 41-17. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here are the players leaving here in year 1. But we convinced a couple players to stay, and then everyone else is pretty much graduating. So we got to hit the portal and get some more troops. Bruce Keene, committed. Deacon Stingley, committed. Gabriel Dive, committed. Jamarcus Lockett, committed. Ray Hubbard, committed. Ashton Stamps, commits. Cordell Eagles, committed. John Uko Kawi, commits. Cornelius Apachong, committed. Devin Jackson, committed. Coy Perch, committed. David Duff, committed. Zion Branch commits. And ladies and gentlemen, we finished with the 16th best class in the nation. That's the best in the American. We are off to a great start here in year 1. Let's continue into year 2. Evan Godwin, committed. Duke Conway, committed. Frederick Stye, commits. Carlos Ordonza, commit. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be going to the American Championship, taking on Tulane. Darren DeBose, committed. And ladies and gentlemen, your 2026 Heisman Trophy winner is Ryan Williams, receiver of Alabama. He had 113 yards, 1,445 yards, and 21 tutties. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be going to the Myrtle Beach Bowl, taking on James Madison. And ladies and gentlemen, we have done it. We have won the Myrtle Beach Bowl. Alrighty, here are the year 2 stats. Madison got the start. 159 for 289, 55% completion percentage, 2,132 yards, 17 tutties, 2 picks. Nick got some playing time. 115 for 240, 1,426 yards, 10 tutties, and 2 picks. Rushing, Bodyford, 177 for 943, 11 tutties. Stockton, 77 for 321, 4 tutties. Maiden, 88 for 306, 2 tutties. Jackson, 51 for 201, 4 tutties. Keene, 7 for 11 with a tutty. And Brady, 3 for 8, 2 tutties. How about receiving? Jeremiah, 75 for 1,072, 7 tutties. CJ Smith, 54 for 748, 4 tutties. Brady, 38 for 746, 6 tutties. Jerry, 52 for 549, 7 tutties. Brody Ford, 23 for 172. Anderson, 9 for 82, 1 tutty. Stockton, 11 for 78. Hawkins, 4 for 50 with a tutty. Jackson, 7 for 47. Bell, 1 for 14 with a tutty. How about the defense here? 70 tackles by Wilson. Everett with 63. 60 by Branch. Jackson with 57. Same with Bray. Chauncey Logan, 56. 50 for Coy and Stamps. 46 for Cornelius. Tackles for loss. Cornelius with 19. 17 for Jackson. Marcus Burns Jr. with 10, 8 for Carter and White, 4 by Branch and Logan, 2 by Everett and Benton, 1 by Wilson, Hubbard, Stamps, Donovan, Victor, David, and Ian. Sacks, we had 12 by Cornelius, Devin with 10.5, Barris with 3.5, 2 by Benton, Carter with 1.5, same with White and Branch, and Chauncey Logan, half sack by Rossett and Ian. Interceptions, 5 by Bray and Ashton, 2 by Coy, 1 by Jackson and Everett. Let's hopefully rebound here in year 3. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here is the bracket for year 2. Nothing major really happened. It was all the high seeds, really. Outside is Oregon and Tennessee upsetting. I mean, it was all chalk. In the end, it was Oregon and Florida, with Oregon coming on top, 48-38. Ladies and gentlemen, we took a hard hit this offseason. Coy is going to get drafted in the first round. So everyone's pretty much leaving us. So and we didn't recruit very well, so we are fucked with a capital F. Don Breeze committed. Jameson Sixum commits. Kiki Prince commits. Gabe Smith committed. George Ramsey committed. Chase Pasquale commits. Carlos Clausen committed. Nate Simonson committed. Delvayo Abel commits. Jamerson Paul committed. Caleb Knox commits. Clay Donnell committed. Joey Spears committed. James Isaac commits. Charlie Collins committed. Dean Mako Green committed. Jaden Gould commits. Gregory McMullen committed. George Sims commits. Colin Bangan committed. Nick Bowie committed. Huge Carmen committed. Ladies and gentlemen, we took a step back in recruiting. We finished with the 32nd best class, which ain't bad. Still the best in the American, but it's just, I'm a little disappointed with the class. Anyway, let's get to year 3. John Raynaud committed. Byron Scruggins committed. Leon Garrett committed. Ben Malloy committed. Nick Everett committed. Curtis Mangold committed. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be going to the American Championship, taking on the Tulane Green Wave. Carlos Hurley committed. Titus Gillipsy committed. And ladies and gentlemen, we have won the American Conference. Let's freaking go. Dante Gafferney commits. All right, ladies and gentlemen, your 2027 Heisman Trophy winner is Tavian St. Clair, quarterback of Boise State. He had 3,561 yards, 32 tutties, and a 67% completion percentage. And ladies and gentlemen, we have made the college football playoff. In our opening round, we'll be taking on the Oklahoma Sooners. Ladies and gentlemen, we of course got belt to ass. We lose 27-3. Damn. Ladies and gentlemen, here are the year 4 stats. I just hope Cardin doesn't transfer. He could be transferring. But Manning was 287 for 479, 59% completion percentage, 3,474 yards, 24 tutties, 13 picks. Yikes. Rushing, Stockton, 237 for 1,281, 16 tutties. Madden, 137 for 279, 2 tutties. Green, 40 for 110, 1 tutty. Abel, 19 for 62, 1 tutty. Nick Carden, 3 for 7. And Jamerson Paul, 5 for 5. How about the receiving game? Titus, 56 for 839, 4 tutties. Jeremiah, 61 for 764, 4 tutties. Bell, 50 for 687, 3 tutties. Bruce, 67 for 671, 9 tutties. Stockton, 33 for 265. Don Bibb, 6 for 109, 2 tutties. Anderson, 9 for 95, 1 tutty. Lane, 5 for 23 with a tutty. Green, 3 for 23. Paul, 1 for 8. And Abel, 2 for 7. How about the defense here? 78 tackles for Pierman. Tony with 69. 64 for Xavier. Jalen with 55, along with Jaden Gold. 51 for Chase. Josh, 49. 40 for Cornelius. Tackles lost. Cornelius with 24. Charlie Collins with 21, 8 by Tony and Gatling, 7 by Pierman. Thompson with 5, along with Gregory and Taylor. David Duff with 4, 3 by Clay. Ian with 2, 1 by Xavier. Gold, Chase, Josh, George, Gerard, Devontae, Cavant, Tavion, Don, and Dom. Sacks, 12.5 by Cornelius, 11.5 by Charlie. Gatling with 4, along with Taylor. 3 by Gregory and Tony with 2, 1.5 by Tony. Jalen and Clay, 1 by David Duff. Half sack by Chase Pinkston. Interceptions, Chase Pinkston with 5, 1 by Thompson, Gould, Burr, and Haskins. Year 3, we made the playoff. Hopefully year 4, we make it again, and this time, maybe we go far. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, what a bracket this is. What the frick is this? North Carolina upsets Texas Tech. UCLA goes on a run to the Natty, stopping Oklahoma, who beat us. It was UCLA, Georgia in the final. Georgia wins 20-15. Well, ladies and gentlemen, what I fear the most, Nick Carden is going to transfer. I kind of messed it up a little bit. It is what it is. I did get 2 quarterbacks potentially. I think year 4 we might have to win it with our other guy. We also got some other guys to stay, but some other guys are leaving. But damn. James Wilcox committed. Floyd Averill committed. Willie Heaps committed. Melvin Johns committed. Ezekiel Okuyemi commits. Kevin Wynn committed. Cole McGarry committed. And ladies and gentlemen, we finished with the 24th best class in the nation. That's the best in the American. We won it last year. I believe we can win it again. Let's go. Cordell Pollard committed. David Brisby committed. Mateo Aguilaria commit. Deontay Stacy committed. Jamar Adams committed. Carlos Boyetti committed. Greg Adams committed. Ed Meek committed. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be going to the American Championship, taking on the Temple Owls. Ladies and gentlemen, we have won the American. here in year 4, we should be on to the playoffs here. Deontay Theory, committed. Al Shembo, committed. And ladies and gentlemen, your 2028 Heisman Trophy winners, Air Nolan, quarterback of Tennessee. He had 4,972 yards, 41 touchdowns, and a 64% completion percentage. And ladies and gentlemen, we have made the playoff, but we're going to be playing LSU in the first round. And ladies and gentlemen, we took care of LSU. We are on to the quarters. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be going to the Rose Bowl, taking on the Michigan Wolverines. And ladies and gentlemen, we have won the Rose Bowl and we're on to the semis. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be going to the Verbo Fiesta Bowl, taking on the Oklahoma Sooners. Ladies and gentlemen, we fall 28-25. We were so close yet so far. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here are the year 4 stats. Maiden, 273 for 426, 64% completion percentage. He had 3,282 yards, 23 tutties, and 9 picks. Russian, Stockton, 268 for 1,225, 19 tutties. Madden, 127 for 282, 7 tutties. Green, 84 for 264, 9 tutties. Antonio, 27 for 19, 5 for 10 for Kiki Prince, 3 for 8 for Abel. Receiving, Bibbs, 84 for 1,221, 11 tutties. Jeremiah, 79 for 903, 5 tutties. Bruce, 65 for 757, 7 tutties. Kiki, 49 for 667, 677, 2 tutties. Stockton, 29 for 259, 2 tutties. Harding, 12 for 147, 1 tutty. Green, 18 for 133. Bell, 7 for 71 with a tutty. How about the defense? 71 tackles for Tony. Please don't transfer, but he probably will. 65 for Haskins, 58 for Pearman. Breeze with 56, 50 by Collins. Wynn with 48, 45 for Burt. Robinson, 44, 43 for J-Rod Smith. Tackles lost 25 by Collins and J-Rod Smith. Damn. Kevin Wynn with 21, 13 by Pearman, 10 by Duff, 6 by Tony Dom with 4, 2 by Haskins, Ian, and Duke, 1 by Josh Burt, Chase, and Thompson. Sacks, we had 16.5 by Collins, 12 by J-Rod Smith. Wynn with 8, 5 by Pearman. Duff and Tony with 2 apiece, 1 by Duke and 1.5 by Duke, 1 by Dom. Breeze. Interceptions, we had 1 by Pearman, Breeze, Burt, and Robinson. Please, guys, don't fuck me. Please stay with us for one more year. And in the end, it was Oklahoma Clemson, with Clemson coming on top 24-23. Wow, Clemson beat the shit out of Texas. Damn. All right, we only have 4 people leaving us. Tony sadly leaving us, and our best running back is leaving us. Harding's going to stay. Also, our best receiver, Jeremiah, is going to stay. So at least we got 1 out of the 2, so we'll take that. Tobias Montano commits. Justice Stingley committed. Ladarius Teray committed. Terrence Willie committed. Amani Boodle committed. Stephen Bobo committed. Eric Hazard committed. Marquise Ahmed committed. Daryl Jones committed. Zay Thomas committed. George Sims committed. And ladies and gentlemen, we finished with the 13th best class in the nation here in year 4. That's the best in the American. I have no doubts in my mind we can win the American. Can we win the national championship? That's the big question. Time to go all in and try to get this natty for Memphis. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Here is the final roster. I'm probably starting Dante over Ezekiel just because the awareness is a little low. But, yeah, will I start one of these freshmen? Probably not. I just don't think they have the stats for it. But quarterback is a little worrisome this time. Running back, I think we'll be fine, honestly. Fullback, we have receivers. We have, really good receiver in Jeremiah. And then Bibbs and then Kiki. A little worried about the receiving corps. Tight end, we do have Bruce. And then, tackle, we have a 78. We do have the freshman, but he's probably not going to start. We have a 96 overall, playing like a 98 left guard. I believe that's the first big left guard I've gotten. Center, we have George Ramsey. I'm a little worried about right guard, but like they're in the 80s. Right tackle, we have Eagles playing up to an 82. Same with Bowie. Ben up to an 81. Ed Meek, the freshman, probably going to get the start, even though these other guys got boosted and whatnot. He'll start. D tackle, we have Scrownings, and then these guys here. Sam, we have Duke Conway playing up an 86. 2 guys playing up to an 80. Little worried about the Mike linebacker, but we have Curtis Mango playing up to an 80. 96 playing up to Antony Pearman, the senior. Their cornerbacks, they look really good. We have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 corners playing up to an 80. Or in the 80 range. 91 for Josh Burt. 92 for Stephen Bobo. We do have our freshman kicker that's playing up to an 80, but yeah, that is the squad we have built here for Memphis. And ladies and gentlemen, it's time to do our thing. We're going to turn auto recruiting on and get the sitting. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are currently 8-1, and we're ranked 10. Our only loss is to UAB, a rival, by only 7. And yeah, man, we have had some good ones. We get USF, North Texas, and Rice. And the conference championship, I think we should make the playoff. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be going to the American Championship, taking on the USF Bulls. Ladies and gentlemen, we have won the American, and we're on to the playoffs. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be going to the playoffs, and we're going to be taking on the Texas Longhorns. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are at the Liberty Bowl, getting ready to take on the Texas Longhorns, of course. Horns down here. We started here last year. We went all the way to the semis. What do we have in store this year? Can we win the Natty? Can we even make a Natty? We even been to a Natty in all 4 of these 5 rebuilds. Here we go. Texas, Memphis. Let's go. 4th and 1 at the 36. We're going to go for it. Here we go. Gafferney. Right there. Got it. Let's go. First down. Alrighty. Bruce Keene with a 9-yard touchdown. Let's go. 3rd and 6. We're down 20-16 here, folks. Here we go. Gafferney. Right there. Over the middle. He's got 18. And we're going to be at the 24. 1st and 10. Gafferney. Hands it off. Nice block by the guard. And Bell's going to get a big first. And it's again 1st and 10 at the 10. Gafferney hikes it. Hands off of Bell. He's got a touchdown to give us the lead here. This is a big 3rd down here. 3rd and 8. Gafferney. He's going to hike it. He fudged. 3rd and 8 at the 12. Texas has 1 timeout. Gafferney. To seal it, a Bell! 4th and 6 and 10, we're going for it. It's a little bit of a risk, but we're going to take a roll for the dice. Here we go, 4th and 6. He's got it, let's go! We're going to beat the Texas Longhorns, baby! Horns motherfucking down! 23-20 is the final score, and Memphis is on the way to the quarterfinals. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be going to the Capital One Orange Bowl, taking on number 1 Clemson. Here we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are at the Hard Rock, getting ready to take on the Clemson Tigers. It's going to be tough. They're number 1 in the land. They are way better than us, but we got to believe, we got to believe, we got to believe, we got to believe. If we win this, we get back to the semis. Here we go. It's Tigers versus Tigers. Memphis, Clemson. Who are the better Tigers? Let's find out. Kiki Prince with a 29-yard touchdown to give us a 7-2 lead. 3rd and 22. We're going to try to get this close for a field goal. Here we go. Oh, my God. We got him, Jeremiah! He's down the sideline! Touchdown, Memphis! Let's go! All right, it's now 15-14. 3rd and 6. Gafferney. He's going to hike it. He's got him. He's got him in. 89. I don't know who that is. That's also going to be putting us at 1st and goal at the 1. All right, 1st and goal here. Here we go. Gafferney. Hands it off. He's got a Bell. Touchdown, Memphis, to give us the lead before half. All right, 3rd and 17. Here we go. Can we get it to extend the drive? Gafferney. Fuck! That's overthrown and it's picked. Fuck. Come on, hold him to a field goal. We get a turnover. Steven Melba with a pick. 3rd and 8. Here we go. Gafferney. He's dropped it. 3rd and 10. It's an 8-point game. Here we go. Gafferney. Got him! This fucking game sucks! The fuck was that? It hits him in the hand, then it gets swatted right to him! Fuck fucking embarrassment! This fucking game sucks. I don't know what the fuck that was. He fucking had it, but then the defender comes in, swats it out of his hands, and of course that fucking house call ability. He has platinum. Of course he catches it, and Clemson's gonna win a bullshit game. We cannot make the natty. The closest we have gotten is the semifinal. We haven't won a natty or been to a natty with 4 schools, or actually, is this 5th? This is number 5, right? Virginia Tech, Delaware, Baylor, Louisiana, and Memphis. Yeah, this is number 5. Still no natties. Still not even... Yeah, no natties and not even a trip to the natty. Utter disgrace. This game sucks. I can't believe how that game just ended, ladies and gentlemen. What a shame, what a shame. But if you've enjoyed, hit like and subscribe. Guys, so like and subscribe. You guys motivate me to keep doing this. And with that being said, I hope you have a great day or have a great night, depending on when you're watching the video. I'm having a shit night and day whenever you're watching this, because that fucking bullshit happened, and I gotta go to work right now. So I'm doing good, bro. Anyway, I'm gonna get out of here, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace. I'm out.